later. Alright. Alright. I hit our wheels. So we can only find them over there. Ow! Okay. What are those doing up there? I don't know. No, Rocky, get up. Get up. What? Okay. It's Halloween night. Oh, hello. What? Weed. Oh, Jesus, I'm supposed to just be sitting in the seat. What are you doing? The screen went all black.
The screen went all black. Did you run out of power?
Okay. Look, there's something in the front of the camera and can't chip it off. There it goes. It's on me now.
Oh, was that in front of the camera?
Yeah. Now you do the speaking.
I don't know what they're supposed to say.
Just say anything.
Okay. Fee-fi-fo-fum.
Okay. That's not anything except that.
Okay. Ollie, ollie, oxen free.
Nothing that... No bad words.
That didn't have any bad words.
Get in these things.
Well, Lucy, we learned all about your school in your day.
Yeah. Now, what did you learn?
Did they do a lot of reading? Seems like, yep, the goal of kindergarten is teach them to read.
Uh-huh.
Pretty much.
Now, do they do sight or do they do phonics or both?
It's some phonics system, I think, but I mean, I'm sure it's got a whole bunch of stuff. But the district has adopted whatever this system is.
She did tell me teacher was Miss O'Brien,
Mm-hmm.
and that everything else was a secret,
Yeah.
except that she had macaroni and cheese for breakfast and for lunch.
Well, that was because that was probably the first food she ate. Well, they have a morning snack and an afternoon snack.
And that Sophia's not in her class, but it's a secret.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
But we found out your secret, Lucy.
What?
You're at the purple table.
She doesn't know anybody in her class because they're not her friends.
Yes, she does. Jax and Liam were in her preschool class.
And Carter.
And Carter. And I think Logan.
More school.
But you get to see all those other kids on the playground or at lunch. You can still sit with Sophia at lunch if you want, or Claire, or anybody you feel like.
Yes, but they were secrets.
Yes.
And Miss O'Brien has red eye, a giant red eye.
Okay.
Did she?
Didn't know.
No, I did not see giant red eyes.
But they use microphones now, so you can yell at the class without raising your voice. They've got a little, he's got like a little pendant that it's a microphone, and you can tap it to turn it on and off, and maybe you can control some other stuff, but then you can talk normal and it comes out the speakers.
Wow.
Oh, and tell Vima about the chairs. Can you tell Vima what's special about the chairs?
They rock.
Yeah.
The chairs are rocking chairs?
Little tiny kids' chairs. But instead of having, you know, like a lot of times they have just like skids.
Mm-hmm.
The skids are curved. So you can rock.
Mm. So in case you get bored, you can...
Yeah, and I was the only one that was rocking. All the other adults were sitting still. But I was wondering, it was like, I wonder if somebody did a study, and it was like, if we let the kids rock, they'll sit in their chairs 20% longer. It's like,
Well, that's, you know, for a kid to rock like
Yeah.
this is, what do you call it?
Look at Sky's Halloween
a calming, a
dress.
self-calming motion. So letting the kids rock, I guess, because, you know, Maddie, who gave Lucy some clothes, so her little brother is in kindergarten now, but only he cries when it's time to go to school. And,
Look at Sky.
and
She
so
has a Halloween
Chelsea
dress.
was saying that he'll sit and rock because he doesn't know anybody in his class, and that makes him sad. And then she said that Maddie, the sister who's now in the 2nd grade, went and sat with him at lunch one day because he was crying, but then she told him he had to stop crying because she was trying to make friends here, and she couldn't make any friends when her little brother was crying.
Mm-hmm.
So Chelsea was going, Maddie doesn't have, like, quite compassion yet.
Yeah.
Enough compassion to go over to her little brother when he's crying, but not enough compassion to say, what's the matter, Jake? So
I'll
Jake,
be his friend.
I know. Jake told Chelsea, so what can I do to help you? And he said, I think you should call the school and tell them that I don't need to go anymore, but the teacher can come over and visit me all by herself. And she said, I don't think I can do that, Jake. So, the McKay Park is open now. They had did you go over there?
No, we haven't been.
It's a super, we didn't go to the opening, but it's a super cool park.
Okay.
So Friday when we pick Lucy up, if the weather's nice, we may go over there.
Okay. Oh, right. And this Saturday, she's got a birthday party. It's Jillian's birthday party, so we won't be able to go to the beer.
We can't go to the beach.
Oh, that's okay. I can't go to it either. I'm going to be out of town.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to be at a thing in Louisville, out of town. I'm going to be in Louisville all day.
Okay.
So I'm not going either.
Okay. That's fine. And you should be on the list for. Are you going to pick her up right at the school, or?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
I
Do
mean,
you want
maybe-
me to? Do you want us? We can do that, or we can just meet her here. It doesn't matter.
Well, it's up to me. I'll be at work.
It'd work.
It's up to you whether you want to pick her up at school or not.
Or if you wanted to go over with them and the first time, or I don't know. if it
You're
matters.
on the list, and she recognizes you. So
Yes.
So just you walk up there and wait by the ramp, and then the teachers ask the kids, "Do you see somebody that you recognize?" And the kids has to say, "Yeah, I see my mom or my grandma or whatever." And then they get a high five, and then they can go.
Okay. So you right at the bottom of the ramp, not by the door?
Yeah, not by the well.
Because the kids will come out onto the ramp.
A lot of there's that covered picnic table area. A lot of the parents will sit under there, because we're coming from this side. We tend to stand under the tree where it's shady. Some of the
Okay.
parents kind of stood off in the bike rack space.
Okay.
So
And
they're
it's
not.
that door that's the very closest to 10th Street
Yeah.
Yes, and
with the long ramp.
there's a wheelchair ramp coming out from it.
Okay.
And then, because like I told, because Mo was saying, well, where should he park? And I said, it's probably a lot closer for him to park on 10th than to try to park on this street.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're gonna try to pick her up tomorrow.
Yeah, if we park in front of your house like this,
I'm going
Yeah.
to
it's
Jillian's
because she
this
usually
morning.
says that she has some,
Dad, when am I going to Jillian's house?
On Saturday,
you know, it's like, I need to go in the house and
Which
do
is
this.
what day?
Saturday,
Which is when?
Saturday, so tomorrow is Wednesday, and then Thursday, then Friday, and then Saturday.
3 days before.
So we'll go there for Jillian's birthday party.
Jillian! Jillian!
Was Jillian in her class?
No, they live in Erie. So.
Okay, doke. Let's see if Ski's there. She had a Z-bar, one bite of cheese, and a bunch of olives.
Okay, so she's kind of eating. Oh, I can send you with olive snacks. That's what I can send. 'Cause they have a morning and afternoon snack, so we've been sending her with one. Bought the Kind bars, and they just said no peanuts. They said they do have kids with allergies. Well, they're not specific. There are kids with allergies in the kindergarten, so no peanuts. Other nuts are fine. The Z-bars themselves do not contain peanuts, but they do say that, you know.
They were produced in a facility that has peanuts.
So it's like, it doesn't actually have a peanut in it, so
Yeah, so you get to send things like raisins and,
yeah, she won't eat.
I know, and sunflower seeds.
But we bought a box of Kind bars, and I think those actually do have, I think they're peanut butter Kind bars, so
Yeah,
we're not,
Yeah, they're peanut butter and chocolate.
yeah.
yeah.
So those, I'm not sending those,
Right, but that park
but olives,
has,
that's a good, I'll send olives.
the park has, what they did was they created things for kids to play on out of natural things. So like logs
Oh,
and
wow.
rocks, and like the jungle gym is like a teepee made out of like logs. Do you know? So it's like, but it had its grand opening last weekend, and so I saw some videos of some kids playing there, and it looked like it would be really fun. The
Yeah.
bike park part has been open for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and so I thought, oh, if the weather is nice that when we pick Lucy up, we can take her over there.
Yeah, well, I mean, even if it stays cool like this, that's great.
Well,
As
that's what I
long as
meant.
it's
It's
not too
that, but
rainy.
if it's 95 degrees,
Yeah,
that might not be good.
yeah,
So-
okay.
I was going to ask you one other thing. Oh, there's a show on Netflix
Mm-hmm.
that's called Explained.
Okay,
And it says that they add one episode a week on Wednesdays, but I don't know how long the show's been going on for.
mm-hmm.
So the first episode, and they're just short, like maybe 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But the first episode was about the difference between white wealth and black wealth.
Okay,
And
interesting.
that was really interesting.
Mhm.
The second show was, the title of it was Designer Babies,
Mhm.
and it was about genetics.
Mhm.
And it talked about the quadrant, they made a quadrant, and this column in the quadrant was genetic changes
Mhm.
that only impact the person who's getting changed.
Right.
And this was whatever, it could be inherited.
Mhm.
And then this part was for health reasons, and then this part was like for cosmetic
Mhm.
reasons. So the designer babies were down at this far corner for
Right.
cosmetic and change into the future. But it was a short little, when I watched that, I thought, you should watch that and see how accurate.
Yeah, well, sometimes the biggest problem that usually they make is they've jumped 200 years into the future, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's hard to say too, because I've been listening to these podcasts with people that are
That's
you know,
way
like,
better.
truly
That's
experts,
way
you know,
better.
oh, this is the head of genetics at Stanford, he knows what he's talking, he's not, but they'll talk about that, like we think computers have sped up quickly, but some of the advances we have in biotech have been even faster. So you can look at something and say, that's absolutely impossible in 5 years from now, it might be commonplace.
Hey,
Right.
got my
And they were
boy.
So,
very good about
it's-
saying that the designer babies doesn't exist yet.
Yeah,
But they did, and some of it I don't remember because I watched it, you know, and it was,
Yeah.
they talked about
I'm
how they
designers.
were doing some genetic engineering
Mm-hmm.
with the diseases down
right.
with
Okay.
things like sickle cell.
Oh,
They
yeah.
talked about they had a bunch of embryos
costume.
and they tested all the embryos to see
Wait, let
if they
us
had
have some
carried the sickle cell
costume.
gene, and then they only implanted the embryo that didn't have the
Right.
sickle cell gene into the
There's a
mother.
pot if you
And
want.
so that's,
And
yeah.
they were saying, so that is a form of genetic engineering, but it's up in the medical piece.
Yes.
It's not in the designer piece, like I want a baby with blue eyes and a cute nose.
Right, and some of it, it's, you know, sometimes when you hear like, well, we're gonna try to
I'll be
design a kid that's gonna be
Goldie.
good at athletics, and it's like,
I'll be
we're just nowhere
white.
near that.
I'll be the
Right.
black.
But
You
when
know.
I was watching it,
But can we say, we're not gonna implant the embryo that carries Tay-Sachs? Yeah, we could do that, you know, that's absolutely.
Right.
Or, now that we know how to fix the gene, can we fix the gene in your baby for, what's the lung one? Cystic fibrosis.
oh, okay.
You know, now that we figured that out,
But anyway, it was
So-
really kind of, so I thought, well, like I said, I think they're less than 20-minute segments, and that was, obviously, if you see all the titles, the one that says designer babies is the one about
Yeah.
genes. They had one about monogamy, and that it was artificial construct, and that nobody should ever expect it,
Yeah.
you know, a kind of thing. The one with the difference in wealth, black wealth versus white wealth, I mean, they're in 20 minutes, they're fairly
Yeah.
simple.
right,
Was broken down into one, when some white people who are now wealthy started investing their money, black people were slaves and didn't have any money to invest. So they can't have the investment history that some white people have. And the majority of white people's wealth, especially middle-class white people, is embedded in their property.
He wants to
But
be the
black
man of
people
things
couldn't buy
that
houses,
nothing would
so therefore they don't have that wealth
yes.
of having. And then Cory Booker was they kept flipping back to him. He was like their expert. There was a lady who was the expert on the genetics one, a kind of a thin lady that I had seen before somewhere else, so she must have been on another documentary. Anyways, he explained that because of redlining,
Yeah.
his parents wanted to buy a house in a nice white neighborhood, but every time they went and looked at a house, then mysteriously the houses were sold. Oh, we forgot, we didn't know when we showed you that house that it was actually sold.
Yeah.
So they enlisted white friends of theirs to do the real estate hunting for them, and had their white friends, and his parents didn't show up until closing. And he said that his parents told him that the realtors and the bankers and everybody was having a fit
Yeah.
when his parents came in at closing and had bought this house in this white neighborhood because they had a surrogate white family do all the real estate stuff for them.
Reading some stuff on a message board, you know, people are talking about things like that, you know. And because these things tend to stay relatively simple, people were still like, I don't, you know, people who deny the systemic racism as a thing, probably because they've never experienced and they've never seen it. And one person said something along the lines of, these are direct quotes from my HOA, and I bought this property 10 years ago or whatever, and it was stuff like, you will not sell to you will not sell to a black family. And he said, these are clearly illegal. Nobody in the HOA has any questions that these are illegal, and everybody's kind of disgusted with it, but it's still there because also nobody's bothered to change the bylaw.
Right.
And it's an HOA from the 50s or 60s or some time when
Right. Well, when I was growing up,
That's systemic racism.
when I was growing up, what they did in Cleveland Heights, and there were a couple of some black families in Cleveland Heights, like there was one black girl in my class, you know, that kind of thing. But what they decided in Cleveland Heights, and I think is still the law, is that no, they don't allow for sale signs on houses. So before, now with the internet, that may be a little bit off. But what it was before is, in order to find out if a house was for sale, you had to go through a realtor. And so the realtors could
They'd filter. Yeah. Now Cleveland Heights is now Cleveland Heights is mostly black.
Is it? Yeah.
Well, I don't know what the ratios are, but a couple times that we've been back to Cleveland, we've driven, whether it was going down Euclid to like the art museum where Dad just saying, oh, there's that house, there's that house. Everybody out on the streets is black.
Yeah, all around Euclid and the art museum, that always worked.
Well, no, I mean up in Cleveland Heights.
Oh, in Cleveland Heights.
Yes.
It's funny because
So
there's an author that I like who writes kind of interesting books. And we read one for book club, and his name is Dan Sean. It's spelled C-H-A-O-N, but it's pronounced Sean. But he lives in Cleveland Heights, and some of the books he writes are placed, you know, like the first time I read one of his books, and the guy in the book is saying, well, I live in this apartment on Euclid Heights Boulevard. I'm going, what?
yeah.
Live on Euclid Heights Boulevard? You know. Anyways, he writes about Cleveland Heights. And then we read another book for book club. This last time that was Shaker Heights, and it was like, we stop reading about a place that I know.
Yeah.
And read about like Nebraska.
I get that way when I read books or watch TV shows that are based in DC. So I'm like, you can't get there from there.
That's not how that works. Yeah.
Right. Well, both of these books.
We went to go see the Mission Impossible movie with the guy who actually worked at the CIA, and he was just laughing throughout the whole thing. That's not how it goes.
Well, both of these books are very accurate because the people live there, but he doesn't mention that, you know, Cleveland Heights, I think Cleveland Heights still doesn't allow for sale signs.
Yeah. Twinsburg was very white. Twinsburg was very white.
Right. Anyway.
So, yeah.
And then there was another show I watched, which you may not like, that was called The Big Unknown. That was also on Netflix. And it was an experimental documentary, sort of, an experimental movie. And they had 9 scientists who were